Hey everyone, welcome to Feathers Off-Road. Wanted to do a post-ride recap of our Chinese electric dirt bike trip to Moab. Generally it went really well. There was only one issue that was probably close to a catastrophic failure, and that was with the front sprocket, and let's start there. We were out on the trail and heard a sound. Couldn't tell what it was immediately. Rode a little bit more, eventually found that the chain was wearing through this cover piece, seemed to wear away the aluminum. We stopped and took the cover off, where we found dirt, metal shavings, just didn't look good all over. Couldn't exactly see what was going on, but we could see the front sprocket was moving left to right. Zooming in a little bit, we can see the metal shavings. There is a groove down near this metal gold washer, and looks like it should have teeth. Hard to tell. Zooming in a bit more, you can kind of see the teeth probably were smashed away. Not sure exactly what this was supposed to look like. Later, I found a few of these online, common on Honda motorcycles, and I've since ordered a few of those. They'll be arriving soon, which will be the permanent fix. But out on the trail, we tried a couple things. We tried baling wire. We tried this copper wire, which ended up being thick enough to hold its position the whole time. And we were able to ride all weekend. Shortly after we came back, the copper wire broke through and the whole sprocket was moving left to right again. So this is definitely the worst thing that we had happen. But we can fix it. The other couple things that we had an issue with, one right near here, just setting the bike down, bent this lower foot shifter. You can see it's tweaked inwards towards the bike. Luckily, you don't have to shift a ton on this bike. Second gear is pretty usable for all terrains, so we mostly just shifted it by hand into second. We did have this linkage come undone. We did have to tighten that out on the trail. It may have been loose. Not sure if the terrain made it loose, but we were able to work through that one. Lower center of the screen, there is the charging port. We lost the cap for that somewhere, plastic cap that screws on. And again, up here on the handlebar, the breakaway on the clutch lever. Just setting this down on the rocks caused this thing to snap. So we're looking at adding hand guards, but we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Lower down, we were hearing a noise, and I thought the front wheel was hitting the fender, but what we found under full compression was that the brake line actually had some slack in it, and so front forks would compress, the tire would hit the brake line and actually cause a rubbing sound, so we zip tied that out of the way. We did also have two front flats, so we've since added a rim lock on the front and rear tire. I've never experienced that on the KTM. KTM does have the rim locks. We're pretty sure that the tire was sliding around, and that'll be good. On the other side of the bike, this brake lever feels like at any moment it's probably going to bend. The height seems okay. The angle is tipped down and away. This felt strange in my boots. The other person riding the bike this day didn't have an issue with it. It's different than the KTM, just kind of felt odd. And we found that probably there's not enough fluid in this brake reservoir. The rear brake was working, but felt a lot harder to push than it should have been. Again, back to the handlebars. This is a 7/8 handlebar, but the interior diameter is only 11.5 millimeters. So off the shelf, friction brackets aren't going to fit into this hole. So we're going to have to tap this and use a custom bolt. Contrary to the sticker, this is not actually a pro taper bar, and so we may end up just getting a whole new handlebar for this. So honestly, this bike did awesome for this kind of crazy terrain. Tons of climbs, tons of rocks, lots of sand. I mean, really, if we had hand guards and maybe a spare thing for that front sprocket and these rim locks, that's probably out of the box all I would add to this to make it a competent off-road machine. So hope you enjoyed that little recap. Until next time, enjoy the ride.